Alright, so I've got Luke and Daniel Bard with the Boston Red Sox synced up here at release point. And I talked to Luke a little bit today. There's a couple things that I want to look at changing, but for overall, we're in pretty good shape as far as how we're getting out there and releasing the ball. And then what I'll do is just kind of back them up frame by frame. One thing that I want to watch next time I've got Luke out there throwing is to keep this leg more braced, which is going to mean it's going to be a little bit tighter of a straight leg approach to it. Our feet are a little bit awkward here. If you look over at Daniel Bard, you can kind of see how his foot's square on the ground at the plate, and the back toe is up, just like in our hitting that we talk about, but that's off the ground. But as far as, you know, for the most part, he's in pretty good shape. We've got we want to create this kind of an angle and then back with that toe up, but I mean, that's easily corrected. Release point looks good. The arch of the back looks good there. Very similar here for Daniel Bard through the release point. So we'll clear that out, clear this out. Alright, now let's back Luke up a couple frames here. This is, you know, at release point, that's really looking good, what we want to see. And if we compare it back to Bard and try to back him up a few frames, Luke's actually doing it right, whether he knows it or not. At the laying back of this arm is really in good shape, because what we're doing is we're talking about maximum external rotation. If I can get Bard backed up here just a little bit, right. We need to go forward just a little bit more. Well, having problems getting him back there. Okay, you can kind of see where I'm talking about. The laying back of the arm, it gives you maximum external rotation. The only thing that I want to watch next time with Luke is this knee does not ever go past the heel. And that's that tightening up or the bracing of that front leg. If you look at Daniel Bard, that knee over here is always behind the heel. As soon as that knee catches up to the heel, that's when you straighten up and brace it, and you get a good pivot off of that. So let's go back another couple frames on Luke. One thing I like that he's doing, even though this leg doesn't need to bend quite like that, I think he's getting a good stride length. Let me clear out that line there. He's getting a good stride length, and he's not rotating too quickly. This triangle V is exactly what I like to see, because his hips are not open yet and he hasn't planted. And so what that does is it allows him to get fully stretched. And if we go look at Bard, if I can get it back there, right there, very similar look. And then the only thing that we talked about today when out at hitting was I want to get that ball down in this area here, because one thing, we don't want to show the ball to the hitters too quickly. But overall, if we get that ball down there, I think you're going to see that the shoulder angle will be more in that line, which is very similar to that of a major league pitcher that does it exactly right. The other thing that I look for is where's the head placement. If you notice here, head over belt buckle, well back here on the front, on the back leg, which is where it's supposed to be, and Luke is actually doing that extremely well. So if we clear that out and then back him up another couple frames, his approach is very good. We're going to turn this glove the other way, but that's something minor. And he's in good shape here, because one thing that I look for, I want to see this back hip. I'm sorry, let me clear that. I want to see that back hip already going towards the plate before his hands ever break. So he's doing this really well. And if we show it on Bard, it's a little bit more telling. You can see, let me clear that. You can see how these hips are already going forward beyond the back foot as his hands are breaking. The hands are breaking low, hands are breaking low. And as Bard starts to go forward, you really see a good extension here of that hip, and the ball's down here. So that's the only thing I'm going to work with Luke on, is just dropping that ball down and getting his fingers up on top of the ball a little bit more, and then turning that glove. But again, I mean, it's looking really good. I'm not quite sure how we're going to get his back foot off the ground, but maybe just a more aggressive approach might help that. But right now we're in really good shape. Maybe a little tight on the upper body, and his hands can be away from his chest just a little bit. But he's got good hip turn. I'm going to have him swing this foot back to gain a little bit more momentum. And you can kind of see on Daniel Bard, if I can back him up just a little bit, right there, everything's more in line, and so it allows that hip to push out if that foot is closer in like that. Right now Luke's got a big turn, which means he has to swing that foot a little bit extra and doesn't get quite the momentum. But for overall, pretty good start, and we'll keep watching it.